difference. Oh my God.
Hello, unlisted at the moment, but hello to everyone who's watching, and welcome to the Distortion Survivor All Stars Rites of Passage. We have our final three here. That on Tuesday they will compete for the chance to win this game, but for the time being, we are going to go down the line and we are going to speak on our fellow castaways this season. And yep, like mentioned before, they will be speaking on anything in relating to them, whether it was in game, out of game, and such. For you three specifically, I know there are a number of players you did not interact with during the season. If you choose to say, I don't have anything to say about them, that is totally your choice. If you want to say anything about them, then that is also your choice. But in the meantime, we can hop right into this, and you guys can start with the first sunset casualty in the first game boot of the game, Jason. So
Speaking of Drew
whoever.
Barrymore and Scream,
What?
um, all I have to say to Jason is your words that you left us with drove us to do what we did in this game. So if anybody is to blame for a pagonging, if anybody is to blame for our ruthless and cold-hearted gameplay, it is Jason. At least from my end. I'm not going to speak for my other fellow finalist besties, but
Wait, there's no
I
visual
was
aid?
solely driven by your 15K salary raise and how you don't need this game.
There's no visual aid. Who are we talking about?
Stop. Uh, I mean, I talked with Jason a little bit. Uh,
The
but
true tea is if Jason had actually talked a little bit to people, he might not have even been gone. So,
yeah,
Fuck
like
that, T.
I just had closer relationships with everyone else, unfortunately. But yeah, like
He didn't talk to me. I don't think he talked to anybody.
but at the end of the day, who here has a 15K raise?
That part.
Right, exactly. So clock that tea.
Me getting a $15 an hour payment.
All right. Next up, again,
Oh, I'm about to get so angry with this one.
next up is 19th place, and the winner of DS3, Gigi.
And if
I
Jason's ass didn't secure the fact that I was going to pagong this fucking tribe, Gigi's boot at 19 secured that shit. Because let me preface this with I have no actual ill will against any of y'all, but fuck y'all. Because Gianna Tele Reed is like an otherworldly saint. And in my prod chat, I made it clear that I was sheeping her till the end, the second she got revealed. And the fact that y'all didn't even let her get past round two, which, like, I know she was inactive, but, like, look past that. Look at her character.
Look at her cast picture.
Literally!
Like that's literally a queen. Like she's literally the queen. Like
Gigi, if you ever watch this, I want you to know at Final Five, we called ourselves the Power Rangers in dedication to you.
and it and
okay, but we have to like talk about the fact that the whole cast gets a reprimand because I accidentally commented a video on Gigi's boot post.
stop. No,
I didn't realize it was such a big deal. Like, I'm sorry, your mother was so robbed I had to
Like,
speak.
I need, like, Morgan can concur. The visceral reaction I had when Gianna got the boot was like, I was like volatile for a good like half hour.
God. When I tell y'all, I was so pissed off too. Like I was so excited to finally play with Gigi in a game. Like
It's so fun. And
I
she's such a great ally. Like that's what's so frustrating is she's such a great ally.
I love Miss G Diva Songbird. That's mother right there. I'm telling you. Like, I also know that she was going through a lot in real life
Mhm.
outside of the game. So like obviously that might have played a role into it, but like I don't care. She's mother. Love
I
her.
love Gigi Down. I don't like.
Literally.
Oh my god, I love her so much. I love that like we're not taking turns and it's just like stream of conscious for all three of us.
Exactly.
Kind of like how this game went.
Bye.
Stupid. Looks at final five.
In conclusion, that's mother.
Anyways, but I love Gigi.
Mhm.
All right. Well, next up is 18th place, timeless Mike Jones.
Okay, I'm starting with this one.
You go ahead now.
Let me
I'm
go ahead.
so I'm going to preface this by saying I love Mike Jones, one of my close friends in the community, like really close friends. Like we worked very well together in season 7. But I'm gonna say this with so much peace and love. I am so fucking thankful that I did not have to deal with him another fucking season because I just know he was going to bring up season 7 again. And like, love Mike Jones, but I don't think I could have been able to deal with another full season of Mike Jones, if you know what I'm saying.
I don't even think Cam knows this. When Mike got the boot, me and Morgan like had a little cheer session because we were so scared of the Mike Cam connection that like the second Mike got the boot, we were like, okay, we don't have to deal with that good.
Probably would have worked.
Literally.
He probably would have worked with me for like a good chunk of it, and then I would have voted him out again.
Love Mike down. Love Mike down. Mike does this thing in game, and people either really cling to it or really don't. Where like he does this like Boston Rob thing. And like I said, some people like cling on to it and will like go far with him. And sometimes it just doesn't work. And I don't know if that's the case because I wasn't on his tribe, but I would like to think that might have been the case. I love that like we can't really say anything about these rodeo boots because we weren't
Yeah,
there.
I was like, I wasn't there. Mike, this was like, it just made sense to me because on our original season, that was
Well,
the
he made it one
vibe.
placement further than on your original season.
Well, yeah, we
Oh.
technically survived 2 more. So
Place this. Did he place the same placement?
No,
no,
I
Or
think
one
he got
back?
technically.
in season 5.
Hides my face.
I'm
Oh.
done.
All right. Well, if you want to just skip the next rodeo boot, we can. I mean,
Oh, and won't.
all
And won't
right.
be.
I feel like we should.
Next up is 17th placer. Y'all might be familiar with him, Mikey.
Never
Oh.
heard of that twink.
No, I'm starting this.
Oliver Jennifer.
Mikey, Jennifer, Portia, you dumb fucking bitch. Like, I wanted nothing more in this game than to play with you. I said yes to this game because I knew you were going to be playing because you're a winner. And you just had to be dumb and stupid and get 17th place. Like,
You ruined everything. You literally ruined everything.
I literally wanted to cry. I was so angry.
I mean, look what
Because-
had happened. Look what happened in the game without this bitch here.
We
And-
literally could have been Gag City strong.
We could have been
But
Literally.
you decided to be dumb and fuck it up.
the full,
Literally.
the full reunion. I will admit that I kind of played into the whole being upset over Mikey was gone thing, but I still did want to play with Mikey in this game. And like when we were playing Ultimate Tic Tac Toe, Mikey was like, "Oh, I'm happy to see you here." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was, and then like right after we voted out, I just can't. I was excited for Mikey again,
I
but
can't even deal with the fact that my own sister had to be snatched away from me 1 second before a swap. And then everyone else saying their reasons for why pagonging, oh, it was Gigi, oh, it was this, it was that.
It
For
was
me,
Mike.
it was Mikey Ruby. Like,
It,
bitch,
it was
we
that.
never get to play games like this together. And I was so excited. And then right before I saw him, bitch, really? Like,
I was just excited to like be like my thing with Mikey is like I wanted to be the best placing prod member of the season, but I wanted to do it on my terms.
didn't
Mhm.
know it would be so easy.
No,
Literally, like
Like,
that hussy harlot whore. Like,
literally.
I really want to know what went down on that tribe. Well, like we know like kind of what went down on that tribe, but like
I would
like
know
too many
everything.
alliances, but like Mikey alliances with everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
oh, that's just so embarrassing for him.
Literally. And was. And I had no
Mind you,
problem even asking people about that over and over and
mind
over again.
you, you're saying alliances with everyone. Looks at my 10 alliance.
No, well, I've got my.
We don't need to talk about that, y'all. We don't need to talk about that.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
All right. So at this point, y'all had swapped, and everyone was just so wholesome and so selfless that they didn't take greed. So next up is Jared.
That boot was like kind of really sad for me at first because like Jared was somebody that like going into it, I was like, oh, I feel like I'd be able to play really well with Jared. Jared was somebody that like I was like, I feel like we'd vibe well. I feel like that'd be somebody that like I could go decently far into the game with. And then like the dynamics of our tribe were just like, well, we're not getting rid of Brandon and Rachel. So Jared's the only option. And it was really, really sad because I do think Jared is a smart player. And that's something that like I respect a lot of. I just think he like was like textbook definition swap fucked.
Never met the kid. Peace and love.
Yeah, I've never interacted with Jared ever in my life, but I've heard many good things. Just based off like season one. So like kind of upset we didn't get to meet, but you know what? Game is game.
Player of
Maybe
the season, player of the season core, team player of the season.
All right. Next up is Staten.
Oh,
stay.
I'm gonna
Staten.
start crying. Literally stop.
You should have flipped, bestie. You should have flipped, bestie.
I tried. I tried to tell you, boo. Like, I
Well,
really like I can everyone here can vouch. I meant what I said that I like really was wanting to work with you moving forward. You are the one person that I was like, okay, you are somebody that I really want to repair something with. We had our ones and our twos in
We had
our
our
last
beats.
season.
Apologize.
Literally, we moved forward from that, and I really meant everything I said. And when you didn't flip, I was like, damn. And then when you picked that rock, damn. Of
well,
all of them that it could have been, it was, of course, it had to be you.
no,
It sucked.
I was literally having really good conversations with Staten too. Like we had some really good chats and everything. It just ended up that like the cause of not flipping caused the wrong rock. You know, like I definitely feel like in a different game and different scenarios, we totally work together really well. But the Rock has spoken, and I was just so excited to go to Rocks though. Like
Literally, like,
one of my
you made
goals.
history.
Like
You made history.
history. Never voted out in Distortion Survivor ever.
Fuck
Ever.
that team.
And like,
I
no, you're good. You're good.
I watched Satan play season 5 from like a production standpoint, and Satan was somebody else in this game. You're gonna hear this quite a bit because I've watched most of you on production. But like Satan was somebody else that I was like really excited to see and like really excited to play with. And sadly was never on a tribe with him. Sadly, never got to play with him. But like kind of sucks really bad because like Satan was the one person who I was like, oh, like Staten has no evil in him. He's just a nice person. He's a very kind human being. And so like I want to interact with that at some point in this game. Because everybody else has like, whether they want to admit it or not, been evil in some form, way, shape in their career. So
Love that
Nice.
man. Underrated.
very, very.
All right. Next up is our last pre-juror. It's Brandon.
Like, I was actually really excited to see Brandon on this cast because I really didn't expect to see Brandon here, but I was looking forward to it. Because the first time I literally ever spoke to him was like a week before the game started. And I had no fucking clue he was in the cast. Uh, but yeah, like unfortunately we just never met in game. Womp womp. Maybe next time.
Oh, I love Brandon down. I love Brandon down. Brandon was my DM when we were doing a Dungeons and Dragons thing. It would like, oh, I love Brandon down. I like real like, and we would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for Rachel and that shot in the dark. No, just kidding. Love Rachel down as well, but I am sorry that I was the one who told you to vote for Wesley, and I told Alex to tell Wesley to vote for you. Um, and things happened the way they did. But I couldn't risk any of my girls going home yet. But love you down.
Literally. My heat wave, long lost sibling. We didn't get to represent together, but you did your ones and your twos, and people talked very highly of you at the merge, and we're very sad to see that it was you. So, in another life, you got like 12th or 11th.
That's crazy.
What?
That's crazy.
All right.
True.
Well, in this lifetime, you guys had merged after this. And in 13th is Jacob.
Jacob.
This is one of the only boots I felt icky about.
Yeah, I felt bad because Jacob is such a freaking sweetheart, but
But like that's why we had to. That's
literally,
why
like you are the one person that's like social enough and like has enough connections and is like smooth enough to fit into any crack that like
for
you
me,
just
it
had
wasn't
to
even
go.
that. It's like for me, it was like if anybody is not going to be like nice enough to flip somebody just based on like how kind and likable they are, it's going to be Jacob out of
Mhm.
anybody on the cast. Like not even like the four road, like literally out of anybody on the cast, if anybody's just gonna like charm somebody into flipping, it's gonna be Jacob. And I personally couldn't have you in the game for my own personal reasons of just like I needed to have control at all times. And I feel like Cam and Morgan felt very similarly.
Jacob, my roommate, we were literally living in the same house for like a week, like days before the season started. Uh,
And look how that turned out.
yeah. Uh, but like, I love Jacob so much. Like, that's one of my very close friends. Like, we've just got that inseparable bond. Uh, Unfortunately, in this game, just like things didn't seem to work out. Like we did say we would have each other's backs, but just the way of the game, like had I did realize that of everybody from that four, that Jacob, you were going to be the person that would like be lasting the longest because like you're just so charming, so good with your words. So like game savvy. Like
Mhm.
like in my eyes, like on a personal level, it sucked doing it, but on a strategic level, I had to do it. So I love you, Jacob.
I love that, King.
Mhm.
All right, next up.
Catch me. Wait. Oh, catch me, Morgan and Jacob on a certain prod team in the near future.
Oh, catch me and Jacob on a prod team soon.
Jacob prod team king.
Literally, Jacob collects fraud team placements like Thanos Infinity Stones. Like this bitch.
All right. Well, next up is our 12th placer, Chris O.
Oh my god.
Chris.
I'll go last.
All right. Oh, Chris. I feel like we were pretty chill. Like, didn't really talk that much, but we were chill. Like, definitely trying to pull that we could play the middle together thing. I wasn't buying a second of it. But like, yeah, I wish we could have had more communication in the game. Like, I had no problems with you, other than like the obvious lying about the challenge. uh, but yeah, like
Whoops.
we're but yeah, you're chill. Like we'll definitely talk postings.
Um, me and Chris didn't have like a lot of conversations, but like the one like very, very like important to me conversation that we had was I want to say right before Jacob. It was either right before Jacob's vote or right after Jacob's vote. We like sat down and had like a call, and it was like really intense for a minute, and then it was really, really good. And like genuinely, Chris is like somebody that I really enjoy being around outside of a game level. Like, if the game wasn't involved in anything and me and Chris were just talking as friends, like, I feel like I would talk to him significantly more than I did, which is like something that I also wanted to touch on. To Crispy, Jacob, and Chris watching this. We'll get to Crispy later, but so sorry for ignoring you guys. Didn't know that like y'all were taking it that heavy. I'll talk a little bit more about that in the future, but LOL, I'm so sorry. Um, to Chris though, really, really, really great guy.
Chris and I have this relationship where it's like I respect Chris as a game player because he is super strategic and he really views the game in like a similar way that I do. But we are just like we were not on the same wavelength in this game at all. Like from the jump, it was just not working out. No matter anything I said to you, it was getting leaked and spread from the jump, and I knew that was going to be your tea. So it was fine. It just got to a point in the game where like it felt like no matter what I said or no matter what I did, there was not going to be like a game conversation to be had anymore. So I did I did just start distancing myself. And if that hurt him on a personal level, I do apologize for that. But it just felt like anything I said would be used against me completely. It had already happened. So I was good on that. I wanted him out, and that's why he was such a big target because I wouldn't stop spreading his name constantly. So I feel like we all felt that way. He just had something like he kept doing things that were like, this is a red flag. Like as a game player, you're like playing really, really hard and it's very noticeable. And you have these people who are like really riding for you when you've lied to their faces and got exposed for it. So it was like, you're a threat. And you're a strong competitor. You're such a strong competitor. How are you doing that? How are you so good at things? I
The
wish
pro
I was good at things.
For me, like basically what that vote boiled down to was like Chris was the easiest target to like get everybody to agree upon.
oh yeah, like it just was the best option at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and not afraid to make big moves either. Like always looking to cause some sort of stir in the game. And that's just something that if you're somebody like me or Nick or Cam that's like in a well enough position to not need the game to be stirred around too much, you have to go.
Oh, thank you for saying that, because there was one thing that Chris said, which like kind of like put the nail in the coffin for me when it came to his vote this round. During that call, Chris was like, a good game of Survivor, somebody's flipping every single round. And for me in my game in that moment, I was like, oh, I can't have people flip ever. And it can be boring, and I'll be okay with that because I get to the end. And so, like, when he said that, I knew that there was no way I was going to get him to, like, just stay with me, that he was going to keep going back and forth. And I just didn't really see reason to keep him around.
Yeah.
But on a personal level, from my experience, having played with him before, I know that he respects game, and I know that outside of this, he is still a very wonderful person. So,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, the round after Chriso's boot, you guys did enter the gates of the Golden Gates. And after it was all said and done, after you voted out Chris, you voted out Chris P. So
y'all remember when I said that Jacob was the only vote I felt bad about?
mm-hmm.
I lied. And like I don't feel bad for voting, like getting like putting Crispy up. I feel bad for the way it happened because I wanted to have a conversation with Crispy prior to. And just because my conversation with Rachel like went on as long as it did and we like talked as much as we did, I wasn't able to have a conversation with Crispy before I put him on the block. And that just felt gross. Like, especially in a game like that where I don't I don't lose anything from telling somebody they're going on the block. I usually like to tell people that they're going or like going in the pit. I would rather tell someone that they're going in versus just sending them in. And that was a little bit not fun at all for me. And I do expect Crispy to go the fuck off at me at FTC for it, because if I was in Crispy's position, I would do the same.
Okay. Well, on a personal level, we will definitely get along. Like you're a very nice guy. I feel like we've really hit it off like outside of the season. However, during the season, I feel like out of everybody, I just felt the least connected with you. And like when Rachel won that competition, I was a lot closer with Rachel, so I was more so relieved that Rachel was still in and that it was going to be you on a game level. Uh and like I don't I understand if you're mad at me for not going with the plans to like flip. Uh and we'll definitely talk more postseason.
Definitely. Oh, Crispy. Like you, like going into that round, you were not the plan whatsoever. Obviously, everyone knew like you were not the number one spot on the board, but once that spot was suddenly safe and you were still there, especially on like such a quick pace, like, okay, we're getting through this, we're getting through this. It was over. And it did suck because if you had stayed, you definitely would have made it farther, maybe even farther than Rachel, honestly. So
I
it
hope.
sucked. Very funny individual, that one.
Very funny.
Oh yeah, very
Also,
fun.
the fact that Crispy like wasn't like one thing I'll always respect about Crispy is like fully was in the minority, knew that he was in the minority, and did not give a fuck about popping off at anybody at the mouth and
All
any
right.
tribal council.
Like,
Knowing
speak
that
your truth.
at that point they didn't have a shot in the dark, they like could go home at any given point in time and just did not give a fuck. Very me coded.
Mhm.
All right. Well, it took from 20th to now, but we have our second
Right.
sunset boots. And so after Crispy was voted out, next up is Lyndon.
Lyndon. I'm sorry. You weren't even there. Like going back to the rock draw, like you were just someone that was always down to like do something fun. I respected that. Like you're like, you know what? I'll do rocks. Like whatever. Like let's just do rocks. Like just to do it, which is so fun. And like I totally respected that. Just at that point in the game, it just made sense to like get rid of some of the people like you who were like near the bottom of the pecking order in the original Sunset grouping, and then also somebody that would be like good at challenges and someone that's well, like could be well liked. So it's like it sucks, but it was necessary.
For me, your boot was a lot more about me not really knowing where your head was at and not knowing, like I said in previous eliminations, I have this issue with control in these types of games where if I don't know where your head's at, I'm not in control of that. And that scares the hell out of me. And I just felt that everybody else in the game, I had a good grasp of where they were at and where they were, what their plans were, where they were leaning towards at that point. And you were really the only question mark for me left in the game. And that gave me a little spook, a little scare, a little fright. Because I've seen, not to be meta, and it wasn't meta at the time, but I have seen you play these games before, and like 99 times out of 100, you are like a force to be reckoned with. And not that I took that into consideration, but like in hindsight, wipe sweat off my eyebrow a little bit.
Oh my lord. Lindy Lemon. I love Lyndon. Y'all know how much I love Lyndon. One of my close friends in this community. I adore her. I was so excited to see her on this cast because I knew immediately that we were going to have that connection. It worked together. We worked well pretty much most of the game. We went to rocks together. That shit was intense. We went to fucking rocks. That was fire. And I know you were like, let's go. I'm so happy to go to rocks. And like that was iconic as fuck. Uh but yeah, however, at that point of the game, like I was at a point where I did not want Rachel to go. Because I had surprisingly a very close relationship with Rachel. And I also had a close relationship with you, but I just knew that getting rid of you there was better for my game. And I will still forever love you. You're still one of my closest friends, and we're still gonna be like tight as fuck. But yeah, like I did have to vote you there. Like it was a on a personal level a sad vote, but a strategic level made sense for me, sort of thing.
Since we're being honest, Lyndon, a big part of your vote out was because of how close to Cam you were.
Literally. Sorry.
Well, I voted her, so
I know. That was really one of the big reasons was like I want Cam to be close and like locked in with this three. So it's like any
okay.
other the outside things was like
I love
you gotta
Lyndon
get
so
chopped
much.
off.
Besties, I
Literally love London. And like
okay.
obviously I trusted you, Cam, but like it was like safety insurance.
That's like
Oh,
this whole cast sucked
yeah.
so bad voting them out because like I genuinely like care about so many of them on like a personal level.
Yeah.
And it
Okay.
just like I had to turn into a robot for a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
A moment, and Bessie's. I had a lot of connections. So
Literally.
Okay, after show.
okay, production member. Oh,
Like, bye.
don't
Literally.
come at me. Don't come at me.
All right. Well, after Lyndon's boot, we have our ninth placer, Alex.
Alex, no.
I'm
Oh,
so
God.
sorry I did that to you, Alex. I'm so sorry.
Literally.
So, a little background. Me and Morgan sat down at the beginning of Merge and planned out everybody's boot. And in that list, Alex was a lot closer to endgame than ninth place. And then during the Linden boot, I sat down with Trevor and we did a little boot order thing. And I realized, why am I putting somebody who kind of has the same archetype as me in this game that close to endgame? And like I stand on it when I say that, like, I think had I gone in Alex's place, Alex would be here. I think there would be a lot of situations to happen, but I think he would have been a lot closer to the end had I gone at ninth and not and he stayed. Which, like, was I going at ninth? Not a chance. But like that's the way I looked at it. Is like Alex play at that point in the game played like front runner, big villain.
Mm-hmm. He was like the name dropped as like, this person is definitely somebody in a good spot, that is one of the leaders, that is going to be getting a lot of the respect at the end already. And it's like
Final 9. And I said, I want to be that person.
literally.
But as a person, absolutely adore you.
Literally.
I was actually really devastated that you got ninth, even if I did it, because one of my goals in this game was to get you past 8th place. Which is like so sad.
I mean, damn.
And it just like the way it played out, I realized very quickly that like that wasn't best for me.
Yeah. You know how Nick was talking about votes that they felt icky about doing? That was Alex for me. Like, Alex and I hit it off almost immediately. Like, I was genuinely willing to ride or die with them if I could. He was like somebody I had very high up on my trust rankings almost every round. Even the round he left, I still had him pretty close high up there. Like, I think number 5 that round. But unfortunately, like, the problem was that you were this big end game threat. Like, you were the person that everybody saw. Like, you were making the moves, but nobody was pissed off at you over it. And like, because you got the votes that first Merge tribal, you had a reason to do it like that. And like, I unfortunately did have to cave and vote you here, but everything I said up until that point I genuinely meant, and like I felt really bad about it. That's like the one vote that like I felt really shitty after. But I do love you, Alex, and like we'll definitely. I've said this a lot, but we'll definitely talk after the season.
Apologies all around after.
Yeah, I will always apologize, but right after the vote count is revealed.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Once the season ends, I will apologize on a personal level. And I'll apologize at a game level at FTC. And hopefully you see that and I don't go off the rails.
Bye. Oh,
I love Alex. Alexander Marquez.
a legend, truly.
LOML.
Never beating the
No, that's Heather.
County's allegations.
LOML of my LOML.
Oh,
We're gonna right.
Oh no, I'm sorry. We're gonna miss the Heather calls. And
Really?
the very demure Heather who's just joining.
thinks about my alliance chat called Heather, Isha, and some losers.
All right. Well, after Alex is booted ninth, we have in eighth place Rachel.
You two can go.
Rach.
You two can go first.
On a game level, I think sending Rachel home was the smartest move I've made this entire game. And I think collectively we can all say that. Just for the simple fact, if Rachel touches the end, Rachel wins. Especially like I'm gonna keep it so real with you, divas. If it was Rachel and you two, I'm still voting for Rachel at the end.
Literally.
Like two of the three, like two people that I've been like the closest with in this game, like I'm still voting Rachel because the audacity to go into merge, to be at final 10 in a 9-1 deficit, and like if she made it all the way there, like there's no chance I'm voting for y'all with peace and love.
Mhm.
So like I think for me on a game level, it was the like easiest decision I've had to make. On a personal level, it sucked so bad just because barring Morgan, Cam, and Trevor, Rachel was the one of the only people I would go on like tangents with about literally anything. Like the amount of times we would sit on a call at 2 o'clock in the morning and talk about how her movie date went with this boy that she's talking to, or how my dinner date went with this boy that like you know what I mean? Like it was just endless. Or like how her night was going on her shift, or how my job search was going at the time. Like it was just endless amounts of just fun with her and talking about nonsense and nothingness and how she made the best move she could taking Trevor out so that she won the game, and how Adam had no chance at the end because he is bad at speech. Um like literally just anything. And I, even if Rachel doesn't vote me in the end here, like I will still cherish her as a person and cherish those moments that we had. And I hope that she can look past, like I said, if she votes me or not, like especially if she doesn't vote me, I hope she can look past the moves that I made in the game and things that I've done on a game level, and see that like those conversations that I was having with her, those talks I was having with her were really genuine. Also, I don't know who the fuck said it. Um, and I don't know who Rachel thinks said it or knows said it, but whoever called her dumb and ugly, like fuck you.
Who the fuck said
Yeah.
that?
I don't know
She
if that
said
was
she
like a
said that at
joke.
her tribal.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a joke because she was joking about that after, like when the
I
merge just started. But if that was real, then that's fucked up. I don't know. Somebody actually did that though. But Rachel, girl, you know I love a key, and like one thing Rachel is so good at is just like talking. You can talk to Rachel for literally hours, and it's so fun. She's so funny and just like full of energy, and she always has something to say right back. Always the clip. And I've said it to her face. The most threatening thing about Rachel is not all of the other things that are also threatening. Her comp wins, her like winner capability in the end, all of the connections she had sitting on the jury, like all of this pull that she had and this like legacy story. The thing that was the most like this perseverance, she never gave up. Literally till the last second at tribal council is still calling people out, even though nobody's speaking. Like that's the game that was the most scary, is like you will talk, you will say anything you can, and people would probably end up believing you eventually. Like
Well, with some
especially
of
if
the
you're
people we're gonna be
safe.
with some of the people we're gonna be talking about, they would have definitely believed it eventually.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Well, yeah.
Right?
So I'm guessing y'all know this by now, but I actually really had a really good connection with Rachel in this. I know, shocker.
What?
So shocker. But yeah, like I did not expect how well Rachel and I were going to get along in this game. Like
That
we
part. That part.
like I legitimately came into this game like at merge being like Rachel's the only person I haven't talked to. I don't trust that. To immediately like just us having shooting the shit, getting to know each other. We immediately hit it off. Like we immediately had such a close bond that like we're gonna be friends after the season 100%. Like we already have a snap streak now. Like absolute mother. I
I
love
think
talking to Rachel.
like there's a reason when you look at the boot post, Rachel has 35 comments under her boot post.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
because she's just a very kind human. And like that's part of the reason why like she had to go. Is because like when you give Rachel a chance, she takes it and uses it as far as she can. And
Mhm.
like even me giving her the chance by like just talking to her was me being like, well, I don't want to get rid of Rachel right now.
Mhm.
And like I had talks with both of you where I was like, I don't think Rachel's the best move now.
Yeah.
Oh,
And like the round before I was talking to her was like, oh, Rachel has to go as soon as possible.
Exactly.
exactly. Like I really, really, really hit it off with Rachel. Like I've said, a lot more than I expected to, and I'm pretty sure she didn't expect to have that much of a connection. But I also, in my mind, knew that like if she made it past final eight, she was winning this damn game. And just like Nick said, against anyone, I would have voted for Rachel to
Literally.
this fucking game because she's just that social. She's that good with her words. She's good with talking
Mhm.
to people. She's good with making you feel like you're really close with her.
And people really underestimate her.
Yep.
Exactly. She has those, she's really good at the game. And like, I really valued the time that we got to know each other because we got along so well. Uh, but yeah, like on a game level, like the last round where all of the like leaking my conversations with you and like telling people lies about me and
Shout out
stuff.
Trevor for that one.
Yeah, shout out Trevor for that one. But yeah, unfortunately, it was at that point where I realized you were going to be the danger and that this was the perfect time to send you out. And it worked out. And Rachel, I do adore you. I do feel like we're going to be hella close, but you did have to go there. And like, I'm just looking forward to talking to you after the season. Truly, like, great human being.
Just a lot of respect as a game
Hands
player.
down. 100%. And as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, after Rachel's boot, you guys went right into Billy's big brother. And after a long night, we have seventh place Al.
Oh my God. I have to start. Al, the tears that were cried were fully real. They were not the Esteban tears. They were genuine, me literally sitting there sobbing. I literally, you were the person I never expected in a million years, like, oh, like this is the person I'm going to be closest to because I already knew so many people. I talk to you every day. I wanted to have a conversation with you every day. You're the first person I open your like our one-on-ones. I adore you as an individual. You're so funny. You're so real. I love that so much about you. And it was like the worst situation. Like it was going to be the best coming into it. Like when the HOH is won, it's like, oh, okay, like Al should be safe here. And then was definitely not. And once you hit that block, it was like,
Sorry.
you're going because at that point we had already been told over and over again how people on the jury were going to be forced to vote for you or that you would be somebody that would win in the end if they really just didn't like us. And it was like, and I would want to vote for you in the end too because I really enjoy you. And
Oh,
I even, after you got booted, I literally went and like tried to find your one-on-one to talk to you and like completely forgot. And I messaged in my prod chat like, oh, the one-on-one's not available actually. Forgot about that. That sucks. And now I have to sit here.
oh my
And deal
God.
with me. I'm just kidding.
Literally, these rotted bitches.
Uh, but yeah, Al, my block buddy. Uh, like I feel like at the start of the game we didn't really hit it off as well as I thought. But then, what as the game kept going on, like I realized, oh, we're good, we're good. Like I really did like Al, like especially like around the time we're like, oh yeah, we gotta stick together. Like yeah, it was like really enjoyable to talk about, but with so much peace and love. I am happy it was you and it was not me that left there. but
Um,
uh, but yeah, like Al, you're great, and like I can't wait to see your completed Pokemon. Uh, I'm bad with words. Cross stitch.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward. To,
um,
you're good.
now that I keep cutting you off, that's so
No,
embarrassing.
you're good now. I
I kind of feel the exact opposite with Al, where I feel like me and Al like hit it off immediately. Like at the very start of the game, like I was somebody that I was like, oh, like you're funny as hell. You're funny as hell and goofy and quirky. And I'm funny as hell and goofy as hell. And so I'm like to me, I'll and that like little boot list order that me and Morgan put, we like I was like nowhere
Like literally fifth.
like fifth and below. Like there was no getting rid of Al before fifth place. And honestly, I probably would have stuck to that had it not been for the circumstance in which we went into Billy's Big Brother, where the entire time I was hearing that Wesley was going to target me,
Mm-hmm.
and then Wesley won HOH. Um, I want to preface this with conversations I had with Wesley. I did not say your name until Wesley said your name 3 separate times. um, I did not push him in that direction. He was going in that direction because I think he was afraid of upsetting me or in fear that like I wouldn't have gone home, which like in hindsight kind of smart of him because I probably wouldn't have. Um but that vote was rough. Um I've had a lot of tough moments in this game, but the saddest moment in this game for me was when Seb asked if you had any words and you pretty much were like, I don't have anything to say, and then like just sat there upset, like literally
I don't want to talk about it.
that was heartbreaking.
that's like top 2 sad moments for me in this game for sure. Um very devastating on my mental health. Very devastating on my mental health. Because I never want somebody to leave a game feeling that hurt. And I feel like that's what all of us did, and I didn't that wasn't my intention.
God, that was heartbreaking. That was a heartbreaking vote off. Like just like so sad.
Yeah, like devastation that night. It was like the one scenario where that exactly happens, and I was like, damn, like not even 30 minutes before that happened, we're on a one-on-one talking about what's about what to do and in scenarios, and that's like the one time where it's like this is not gonna work
And
out.
literally, I'm so happy I was right about it. Like, I think I told you, like, what it boils down to is like, I knew in my heart that Cam would have taken me to the end,
Mhm.
and Cam wouldn't have like forced fire making on me. And I just didn't know, and I didn't think, and I think it's obvious by the way these two are talking about you that you would have just let them go over me.
Mhm.
All right. Well, after Al's boot, you guys did compete in the challenge, and through a few hours after, we said goodbye to sixth place, Wesley.
I'm just
Wesley.
gonna like start out by saying like I'm sorry in advance because this season had to have been rough for Wesley because Wesley's all of Wesley's intuitions were saying do not work with these people the whole time, and like he's constantly even voicing it, and he was so right. He was so right, but it just kind of just got like beat out of him and like manipulated out of him to the point where he didn't have anything else to do. And then he's the very obvious boot, and then doesn't make the challenge because of an accident, and then gets voted out when the shot in the dock doesn't work. So, ugh,
Wesley, what I will say is I wish your shot in the dark worked. Um,
yeah,
Do you
I don't
though?
know if you, I don't
Do
know if
you know
you
if
wish
you want
that.
that to happen?
if y'all would have did that early,
Oh, we would
We
have.
would have.
We would
oh,
have.
That's the
I'm Team
plan.
Wesley at that
We
point.
told
I'm Team
Esteban,
Wesley at that point.
we told Esteban to vote for Trevor, and we were going to vote for Trevor
We,
there
we
if it did.
Oh, y'all are nasty. Icky, icky, icky. Um, but
Secrets.
Wesley, you're somebody that I really always wanted to go far because in the last game we played, we had a really long talk about how people don't give you a chance in these games, and I always wanted to give you a chance and like make sure that you were somebody that like while I wasn't the closest with you, like I still involved you as much as I could. Um, love you so much, but the second you said my name, that kind of all just like went down the drain for me. And I like had to get rid of you there for obvious reasons, which is why I was the one that was like, let's just do tribal tonight. Um, because I didn't want any opportunity for you to convince anybody to do anything else.
Oh, Wesley, we have had a very long and rocky road in this org community, starting from season 2. Like, I feel like almost every org that I've played on this side of the community, you've also been there. Like, we've just had a very like long road together. When it comes to this season, uh, I did want to keep you around for a decent amount of the game because it's the same thing. Like, people don't really give you a chance in these games, and uh, I felt like I'll give you a chance. However, when it came to me finding out that you were planning on nominating me in Billy's Big Brother night, I was like immediately revenge mode. Gotta get Wesley out of this game. Uh,
Mhm.
so like,
I I think your worst case scenario happened with Billy's Big Brother
oh yeah, like
in
Wesley
the
was.
sense that like the actions prior to and the actions in Billy's Big Brother caused all of us to kind of just like wash our hands and be done.
Mhm. For the
Um,
most part.
Yeah,
specifically me, Cam Esteban.
Mhm.
And at
mm,
that point, we really only needed 3 votes if
yeah.
you were an option. Love you so much though.
I love
Yeah.
you, but yeah, like even though the part of me wanted that shot in the dark to work, part of me did want that shot in the dark to work to get rid of Trevor. Like I feel like it was the right timing for you to go with so much.
Right.
Like I'll see you around, Wesley. But yeah, this game just wasn't the one for us.
Yeah. Much love to Wesley. Like I spent a lot of time talking to you, especially from like in the beginning and then really after final 10, just really talking with you and building our bond to really secure my spot position wise and make sure that I wasn't being targeted, making sure to push the names of people you thought were so much in a better position than me, and like I'm convincing you that I'm on the bottom with you and we need to make a move.
I did that too.
Was I not in a good position? Was I ever not in a good position?
I mean, I don't still to this day, Wesley, like I said it to your face too, like you not nominating Nick twice, like having the chance even after veto to
Only
not
time
do
I
it,
was really vulnerable.
it gave strange,
Yeah.
I missed. I'm so sorry I missed it,
literally.
USD. I'm so sorry.
So
I think in that moment it was just Wesley was too scared of pissing too many people off. And
yeah,
in turn
and
he
it was
pissed
just
like
too late.
everybody off.
He pissed off everybody that would like that he would need moving forward.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
Which is
it was just the
unfortunate.
worst place scenario for him. And I was honest with him and I was like, you need to play that shot in the dark. Be real. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And you know it. Like I'm sure you've been lied to too much in the game at this point. It doesn't even matter. Like play it.
Also, it was like the last time for him too, so what could he lose?
Yeah. It's
That-
like why would you not?
Keeps my shot in the dark for safekeeping. As
Oh,
as well
you
keepsake.
keep some.
All right. Well, after the sixth place round, you guys did compete in night moves, and after that, we get to fifth place, Trevor.
Wait, nobody say a word. Just give me like 2 seconds.
Waits for the picture.
And is. Just give me a moment. Nope, that's a picture of Adam Debkowski.
Is it Isha? Is it a picture of Isha?
No.
You'll see.
I'll see.
Oh my god, why did it not? Okay, there we go.
No, it's not the paper picture.
And then we'll go over here. I
Yeah.
love Trevor so much.
Thought we were going last.
Fun fact, after the
Nope.
night zero call, when I found out Trevor was on my tribe, Trevor was at Cedar Point, and I drove 40 minutes to meet up with him because I love that man so much. Trevor, I can honestly say I had no part in your boot. I actually was like, when I said Al was top two, like this was the saddest moment in the game for me because, and Cam, I love you so much. I love you so much. I could not envision myself in the game without you and Morgan. I wanted to take Cam to 4. Cam knows that. And once Trevor was gone, Cam knew that like this was the 3 I wanted. But having that stripped away from me so aggressively, like really put me in fight or flight for a hot minute. Morgan can tell you I kind of like spazzed for a second. You left tribal, I went the fuck off on Esteban, exposed Cam and Morgan for their doings, and like kind of flipped the fuck out. And then continued to flip the fuck out in the tribe chat afterwards. Everything you told me not to do prior to the vote, I just did after the vote because I was angry. I adore you so much. I adore you so much. And like the reason I get such an ick from these two right now is because of our conversation of like how both of our games were so similar and how we both made it so close to the end. And like the fact that they did it to you a second time like breaks my heart into a million pieces. You can roll your eyes all you fucking want, Morgan. Fuck you. Literally shatters me to my core. And the fact that, let me preface this with, on a game level, the fact that somebody who had no business in the Final Four made it to the Final Four over you frustrated me to no end. I know why from their perspectives that they did it. I still think on Esteban's part it's a really stupid move. If you wanted to spite me to get 4th, you could have done it any other way, but you chose to do it that way, and that's ridiculous. I love you, Trevor, so much. And Isha is in fact the baddest bitch I've ever met in my entire life.
And that's true.
That's true. Nick, you might want to cover your ears for this. But yeah, I had been planning your vote out for a few rounds. Because I knew that like once Trevor was gone, that I would have Nick in my corner. And like I
Sneaky, sneaky.
and like yes, I even had conversations with Al prior to Big Brother, like, oh, we're gonna get rid of Trevor's. Like I was
Ew,
It
gross.
also did.
I have been planning this out for quite a few rounds. Because I knew that like my best way of making it to the end was getting rid of you. On a personal level, I was so excited to get to know you finally in a game. I've heard so many good things. I was like really glad we finally got to meet, and like for a majority of the game, I really did like want to work with you pretty deep into the game. But like I just had to play the game. I had to make sure that I could get here. And like sorry, Nick, but it worked out. Nothing but peace and love, Trevor.
I'm also
Oh,
talking after Morgan because Morgan doesn't get to have the last word about Trevor.
and that's fine. And that's fine. I'm not gonna say nothing negative. Um, I know Trevor was really upset with the way that it happened, but you were like the one thing in the game at that point that was like a question mark in the sense that like I know Nick is so close to you, and like if somehow some way I'm the one that has to like go into fire for some reason because Nick can't vote you out, I just don't want to risk it. I just don't want to. So that's why I did it. I came into the final four. I was the only person that wasn't going to see fire. Esteban's voting for Nick. So, and then Cam, I'm voting for you with Nick. So,
Voted with me.
Um, with that being said, Trevor, please don't ever doubt that you were my rock in this game from day one to now. We were on the same tribe the entire time. You were the only person that was able to calm me down 99.99% of the time. If anybody was going to get me to flip and vote Morgan out of this game, it would have been you. And if I found myself in a situation where I have to vote for Morgan to cause fire, I probably would have, because I made it clear to both of y'all I wouldn't let either of you be just straight up voted out of this game if I knew about it. I also tried to warn you because Morgan told me that he was thinking about voting for you, and I tried to like hint at it by being like, if I was Morgan, maybe I'd be thinking about voting for you because of X, Y, and Z, and it was a theoretical, and you didn't understand that I was trying to communicate that Morgan was thinking about it. That's all I knew. All I knew was that Morgan was thinking about it. Morgan never told me that they were gonna do it for sure. And I literally like wanted to cuss Morgan out multiple times after that. Even after Esteban went home, I still kind of want to cuss them out.
on a personal level, I do apologize. Like you are a very sweet individual, but on a game move, I don't apologize.
That's fair.
All right, and last but not least, we have Esteban.
I'll let y'all go first. I'll go last.
No, you can go first.
I'll
No.
go first. It's fine. Esteban. Oh my gosh, you freaking weasel. You in that final five round. Naughty, naughty. Oh my gosh. You were giving me heart palpitations. You weren't falling for my amazing acting skills, which you believed, but you just could
Question.
not.
Actually, pause. Question. If
Uh-huh.
Esteban lost that immunity and Trevor lost that immunity, was Trevor still going home, or would Esteban have gone home there?
Esteban would have gone at five.
Okay. I feel a lot better about that now
Yeah,
then.
I didn't want us to want to give me.
Yeah, like Esteban wasn't supposed to win immunity there, but he did. He showed us. And that was the thing with Esteban is like even though you knew that like your first half you didn't really get to do anything, you didn't give up and you didn't fall for stupid ploys like me wanting you to give up immunity. You had the one connection in this game that was like the only question mark link, you and Trevor, for some reason. Like I said that to you on your way out too. Like,
Well, look how that
where
turned
did that
out.
exactly? Because hey, I stepped in the motherfucker. Like what? Um, but that is a king. Just on a personal level, you are such a sweet, kind, caring human being. I love you to pieces. You are literally, if not the kindest soul I've ever met, just on a human level. Nothing but love for Esteban. Love to pieces.
Um, on a personal level, I know you probably feel your feelings for me right now, Esteban, but I do adore you. Um, I do think you're an amazing human being. Everything that I said pertains to the game and not you as a person. And I know that sometimes in games that can be a little misconstrued and that can be a little like gray area. But everything that I have said about you, whether it's in the tribe chat, on the final five tribal call, was strictly game. That's how I felt about you as a player in this game, not as a person. Um, with that being said, I wish Wesley's Big Brother round didn't happen because if it didn't, you would win worst move for sending Trevor home at 5. Probably the only person who would have felt even a little remorseful about voting you out at 4. Because I surely wouldn't, and neither would Morgan. Um, I mean, you saw how it played out for you now. I also think that if you're gonna spite me, putting my number one ally on the jury really isn't the way to go about it. Putting the one person in this game who would probably rally for me against the other two no matter what isn't the smartest way to go about it. If you wanted to spite me, maybe like give up immunity and go on jury so that I can't win, so that you poison the jury against me. Oh wait, you're on the jury anyways, it doesn't matter. I just was frustrated at the fact that you on multiple occasions to multiple people, including myself, have admitted to at times wanting to quit this game because of how inactive you were and how much you didn't think you deserved to be there. And like to me saying, I know I have zero chance to win this game. And then taking that, I don't want to say like taking that spot, but like, and then turning around and voting out the one person who would have even felt a little bit bad about voting you out at 4 to spite me. I didn't know that I was such a big bad evil villainous human, like horrible person. Player, not person. I know it's not person, player. But I guess I kind of did that. But seriously, on a really, really personal note, I do love you. I do have a lot of love for you and a lot of care for you. And I think that you are such a sweet soul.
All right, my turn. I would like to start this off by saying, Happy birthday, Esteban.
Yeah.
Bye.
Already told him.
Oh my God. But yeah, like y'all were talking about your boot orders. I had the exact final 4 that I wanted because I
I had the final 5 that I wanted.
I had the final 4. But yeah, out of everybody that I was most, other than Rachel, a person that I was very shocked that I would get so close to in this game was Esteban. Like, we had surprisingly like a very close bond in this game to the point that there were rounds that I even had Esteban at number 1 on my trust list. Like, I actually was like really close with Esteban because I knew that Esteban would be with me 100% and was, because I even somehow convinced him enough, like well enough that to vote for Morgan that he actually wanted to do it.
Literally.
Like, I actually had a very, very close bond with Esteban, and I was thankful that you did not give away that individual immunity. uh, but
Oh, I'm sure you are. I'm
I,
sure
I,
you are.
I definitely would. But yeah, Esteban, like you were somebody that I had a very close, genuine connection with in this game. Like we got along so well, like so well. Like even when like I would always be sure to message you like right before I started work just to make sure that I would be able to talk to you because I wanted to clue you in on what was going on in the game. Like you were very close with me. Like we went to fucking Rocks for you. Like that's
Literally.
how good we were. Uh, but yeah, unfortunately, it came down to like I just wanted to have that satisfaction of having an alliance that was made day two make it to the end together intact. So like just for that, I've never had that happen for me before. That's
I've
why
only
I.
had an alliance made day 2 make it to final 7 in this game.
Sorry.
Oh yeah,
So
but
it's a first for me too.
so yeah, like Esteban, gotta love sunshine.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
I prefer thunderstorms.
sure.
Bye.
But yeah, Esteban, you're great. Like I really enjoyed getting to know you this game, and I'm looking forward to talking to you after the game. And like, I'm just happy to have actually grown such a close bond with you in this game. Happy birthday,
Hearts.
Esteban.
Happy birthday, King.
All right. And with that, you have talked about all of your fellow pre-jurors and jurors, and now we are here, the final three. As mentioned earlier, you in 2 days you'll be ending this game, and you will be playing for the chance to win not only the title of Sole Survivor, but $100 and above. Isn't that just amazing?
For
Woo!
second place. Above.
Above and third, don't mention that.
You should make third place the above too, just in case I get third again, because I really want my own
You
buff.
should
No.
you should make third place $50 and then the buff for second. Because the buff is what everyone's playing
Oh,
for.
so Morgan thinks she's getting third.
Oh, okay.
And don't.